Gotta be the one to put us on, cause I ain't waiting for nobody else to make it. Breaking through.
And welcome to War Games. My name is Sockmucked Mike, your host with the most. You already know what the deal is. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this brand new episode. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You already know what the deal is. And what a week for professional wrestling. Once again, NXT and AEW Dynamite killed it. I absolutely loved it. I have my top 3 picks ready for you guys. Before I get everything started, shout out to Alex, aka Queen of the Ring. All my prayers are going to her and her family at this time. And hopefully we can still give you the best episode ever. So with that said, let's get started. Starting off with AEW Dynamite. I mean, what a night for AEW Dynamite. I think that it really stepped up the game this time. I think that every single match, and especially these 3 picks I'm about to mention too, really raised the bar. So with this said, let's get on to the picks, shall we? And my number 3 pick is the most anticipated TNT Championship Open Challenge made by Cody Rhodes. And so with this, everybody was wondering who was going to answer the challenge, who was going to be the one to answer to Cody Rhodes' TNT Championship tournament. People were thinking Warhorse. People were thinking, I personally was thinking Matt Cardona, because, you know, he had just released his new theme song. People were even saying Jay Lethal. But nonetheless, it was actually Eddie Kingston. Who would have thought? Professional wrestler, deathmatch extraordinaire, independent pro wrestler sensation, Eddie Kingston would answer the call. And he made a statement of what he does during his introduction promo. I mean, that's definitely an introduction to say the least. So this match, you know, from start to finish, this was the first no disqualification match with the TNT Championship on the line, which I thought was very interesting. Kind of ECW style of AEW to do this. So this match was certainly a great one, to say the least. I think this was Cody Rhodes' best match, in my opinion, because it kind of threw out a very, very different and very, very awesome stipulation at you out of nowhere. So I think this was Cody Rhodes' toughest opponent. I mean, you look at the match in general, Eddie Kingston without a doubt took Cody Rhodes to the limit. However, in the end, Cody Rhodes did retain the TNT Championship, and once again proved how much prestige that TNT Championship has. You know, even with its very, very little debut, I believe it was a couple months ago when this title actually debuted. So I'm going to give this match the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 4 stars. I think that this match really gave Cody Rhodes the spotlight. It gave Eddie Kingston the spotlight because, you know, of course, Eddie Kingston definitely deserves it. AEW, please sign Eddie Kingston. And it made for a great match. Both people killed it. And there you go. At my number 2 pick is going to be the very unique women's division match between Ivelisse Velez and Diamante. Now, these two I've never really heard of before, so I kind of did not have that much knowledge going into the match, but boy, was I amazed by this incredible match. I think that, to put it short, both women killed it. I think that, you know, even from the start of the match, you saw that, you know, both women had an answer for each and every move that they had. You know, from the slap battle that they had, which you guys see right here, to, you know, just answering strike after strike, move after move. But in the end, Diamante did come up with the victory after a sneaky, very smart sneaky, as I may say, roll up to Ivelisse, 1, 2, 3, and Diamante gets the victory. I'm going to give this match a 3.5 out of 4 stars. I think that this really showcased the women's division, and it was very, very, very entertaining, to say the least. So I loved it. Really showcased women's wrestling, and it made me a fan of both. At my number 1 pick is a match I was personally excited for, just because I'm a huge fan of the AEW Tag Team division, and that is the Butcher and the Blade. The Butcher, Andy Williams, the Blade, Braxton Sutter, going toe-to-toe against the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Now, of course, we've seen these two teams before in the past. We've seen them face off against each other at Fight for the Fallen with an 8-man tag team match. You know, that included both teams. So I was very excited. I'm very excited to see how this match goes. And from the start of the match, they literally went anywhere, because this match is Falls Count Anywhere. So they even started, get this, they started at kitchen area, catering area, who knows. and they brawled throughout the entire arena. I love this match from start to finish. Again, I will say this before I continue. The Butcher and the Blade are the best tag team in AEW. I am telling you that. I love FTR. Don't get me wrong. I love Best Friends. I love Hangman and Omega, even though technically they're not really a tag team. They're just single stars that kind of been put together. I love, a lot of the tag teams here. I love Private Party. I love, there's a lot. Lucha Brothers are even included in that conversation as well. But this match really proved why the Butcher and the Blade are the best damn tag team in AEW. So, they dominated. But however, in the end, the Young Bucks did this amazing spot where you can see right here, they went from, I believe, both of the Titantron areas and put the Butcher and the Blade through 2 tables. I thought that was a sick spot, kind of a homage to Jimmy the Superfly Snuka when he did it off the top of the steel cage back in the day. 1, 2, 3, and the Young Bucks get the victory. I'm going to give this match a 5 out of 4 stars, guys. I think, and you're thinking that can't be possible, Mike. It's your show. Why would you get that? It showcased tag team wrestling. It showcased the beauty that it has, and I loved it. So, with that said, I'm going to give this Nights of Professional Wrestling of AEW Dynamite, I'm going to give it an A+. I think that they deserved it. There was no doubt in my mind that from start to finish. And to top it all off, because it was an A+, who could forget the return of Sammy Guevara, the Spanish God, returning from suspension. So I'm happy, Sammy, that you're back. Panda fam, you already know. Congratulations on coming back. I'm really hoping to see you with some championship gold in the future. He dressed up as Serpentico, which that was kind of weird, but I kind of understood it because he did hit a shooting star splash onto the opposition, and I thought it was pretty cool to see him back. So welcome back, Sammy, and I loved AEW Dynamite tonight. Now let's go on to my top 3 picks for NXT. Now, with this episode of NXT, it was historic. We had William Regal's big announcement. I mean, we've been teased this literally the day before NXT had gone on the air. So, curiosity came for not only myself, but a lot of the NXT universe. So we were interested, of seeing what was going to happen. And with the announcement and everything that had gone down on NXT, I think it was a pretty solid episode, to say the least. There was a lot of great moments in there, from a match like Killian Dane versus Dexter Lumis, which I didn't even expect to be on the card. Well, I mean, it was advertised, but to expect to be good, it tells you how NXT went. So without further ado, let's get into the top 3 picks. My number 3 pick is going to be William Regal's big announcement. Now, I think I'm speaking from a lot of fans as well, that I thought, NXT's general manager, William Regal, was going to resign. I mean, there was a lot of speculation, especially with the acquirement of Evolve Wrestling being under the WWE umbrella now. Maybe we're going to get some sort of a battle between the 2 brands. Who knows? But that wasn't the case, as NXT general manager William Regal opened the show by giving Keith Lee the spotlight. Now, Keith Lee, of course, is your NXT and North American champion simultaneously. However, the announcement came that the North American championship was going to be relinquished because Keith Lee thought that it would not be respectable. That's a word, right? Respectable to disrespect the North American Championship division and not properly defend that title. So that's a great move on Keith Lee's part. Definitely a memorable reign on for Keith Lee. I think him and Velveteen Dream are 2 of the best North American champions to do it. So with that said, William Regal did announce that there were going to be a series of triple threat matches to determine the final, I believe it's final 4 or final 5 that would face off against each other to become the new NXT North American champion at NXT TakeOver 30. I definitely thought the logo was absolutely amazing. So what I thought about the announcement, I'm going to give this announcement a 3 out of 4 stars, just because this was just an announcement. It wasn't necessarily a match or a segment. I thought the announcement was cool. I thought the announcement was legendary, and it was limitless, and it was cool. I loved what Keith Lee did on his part by relinquishing the North American Championship, which has a special place in my heart because I absolutely love that championship division. Even though it's kind of sometimes a triple threat division here and there. You know, you have Damian Priest here, and then you have Dominic Dijakovic here, and then you have that. Whatever the case may be, I loved it. At my number 2 pick is going to be a triple threat match for that qualifying match for that prestigious North American Championship. I'm talking about Bronson Reed taking on Finn Balor, taking on Johnny Gargano, my hero. Editor, you know what to do. It is the qualifying triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. It's going to be Johnny Gargano versus Roderick Strong versus Bronson Reed. Now, I want you guys to notice this. I want you guys to notice that all 3 of these men are different in their own way. These are 3 completely different athletes. I mean, you have 2 former NXT North American champions in Roderick Strong and Johnny Gargano, but then you have Bronson Reed, who's this very, very, very interesting athlete, and he's a monster in the ring. I mean, the athleticism, the quickness, the agility for a guy his size. Oh my goodness, I'm such a huge fan, by the way, as you could tell. Basically, to sum it up, all these 3 gave it their all in this match. I mean, obviously, you saw Roderick Strong give his backbreaker, the Messiah of the backbreaker, doing what he does best. Then you see Johnny Gargano give the final beat DDT to Roderick Strong, thinking it was going to be over. However, from the heavens, as they say, Bronson Reed does hit a Jimmy the Superfly Snuka kind of splash onto Johnny Gargano's hand, which obviously you can see, and pins Roderick Strong 1, 2, 3, and qualifies to become one step closer to becoming North American champion. I'm going to give this match a 3.5 out of 4 stars. I'm not doing that because I love Johnny Gargano. He lost. That's not the case at all. I thought that, you know, all 3 men gave it their all in this match. I think that, you know, all 3 have the potential to become a North American champion. You know, of course, Johnny Gargano and Roderick Strong maybe again in the future, but but Bronson Reed definitely deserves that push. I think that, you know, not a lot of people know, but, you know, he traveled a lot in the Australian wrestling scene, you know, because, of course, you know, he was a part of TMDK, known as the Mighty Don't Kneel, as a stable. He was alongside Brendan Vink, who you guys know from Raw and, of course, on NXT, Shane Thorne, Nick Miller. There's a lot of names out there. Hartley Jackson is another one. Definitely check him out, guys. I think that he definitely has a future, and I hope he becomes North American champion. I mean, if he definitely doesn't, then he should at least get a good push as a singles competitor. At my number 1 pick for NXT is going to be a very brutal match, to say the least. I know I'm not talking about Timothy Thatcher versus Oney Lorcan. No, sadly. I am talking about Dominic Dijakovic stepping up to the plate after getting attacked by Karrion Kross last week backstage against Karrion Kross. Now, to sum it all up, I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. This match was more of a slaughter of a match than it was a match itself. I mean, obviously we saw Dominic Dijakovic get some offense in, but pretty much this was all Karrion Kross from start to finish. I mean, the man is dominant. He was known as Killer Kross back in TNA and the independent wrestling scene. So, especially what he did to Tommaso Ciampa at TakeOver in Your House, this is a very scary individual. And especially since he was supposed to be the one to dethrone Adam Cole. Now he's aiming after Keith Lee and taking out all of his friends. So basically, to sum it up, Karrion Kross dominated. And of course, Keith Lee came to ringside to support his friend. But Karrion Kross is looking at Keith Lee straight in the eyes as he's putting on the straight jacket sleeper hold, and it's mind blowing. I mean, you can see right here, like the look of Karrion Kross to Keith Lee, absolutely scary. So in the end, Karrion Kross did get the victory, but it was definitely a very dominating performance by Karrion Kross. I'm going to give this match I'm going to give it a 4 out of 4 stars. I think in terms of domination and in terms of intimidation factor, I think that this was the match to watch. You could go back and watch the Elimination Chamber this year when Shayna Baszler became the only person in WWE history to eliminate every single competitor from the Elimination Chamber. But other than that, this Karrion Kross is something different, and it's something scary. So definitely look out for that championship match in the future. I think Karrion Kross and Keith Lee are going to put on a show for you guys. And yeah, so overall, I think that NXT really killed it. But it really, it was a different show. I think it was better than it was last week. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give it a A-. I think that, it was a very unique style of a show, but obviously with the grades that I gave, AEW won this week. I think that both shows killed it, no doubt in my mind, but I think Dynamite took the dynamite in this one, as they say. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode, War Games. I appreciate it. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on social media. Link will be in the description. And shout out to all you guys for doing what you guys do and supporting. So until we meet again, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.